A Western Conference contest with the Trailblazers. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and a pair of Hall of Famers with us, Doris Burke and David Aldridge. For the Timberwolves, this is the last game before heading back to Minnesota. Now here's Simmons. Poked away. Stolen by Ball. Henderson outside. With the drive. Misses the one-handed jam. Minnesota with the ball. Portland had, Greg, one of the great guard combinations in Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter.
Man, that was one heck of a backcourt. And they really complemented each other so well. Drexler with his explosive scoring ability and Porter who could just do a little bit of everything.
Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well.
That's just superior balance from the crafty guard. If you allow Devin Booker to get close, he's going to draw your contact.
GA, when we think about Devin Booker's scoring ability, he always has been ahead of the curve.
The youngest player ever to score 70 in a game, amongst the youngest to get to 10,000 points. Booker is on a historic scoring pace. And nice work on the perimeter. Defenses must respect Sharp's range.
Booker with no one around. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Pass to Sharp. Ayton at the elbow. And stolen by Simmons. All going up court. And Edwards with the stuff.
Boy, defense has no answer for Anthony Edwards' athleticism. What a dunk.
Let's check in with our reporter, David Aldridge.
Earlier, I spoke with Chauncey Billups. The first thing Coach brought up, Rudy Gobert, the multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year. Worried about Rudy's length, of course, saying it causes total havoc around the rim. So, the counter is lots of threes and avoiding Gobert in the lane. The French center still with a massive effect on the game plan. Devin?
All right, thank you, David. Now, here's Ball. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. Here's Ayton. And Ayton throws it down.
Ayton uses his length to his advantage. No doubt on the dunk.
Simmons with it. Now guarded by Ball. Here's Gobert. And slam dunk by Gobert.
Straight power, homie. I mean, he ripped it down with both hands.
Absolutely a resounding dunk. And we've got a timeout called by Chauncey Billups. He's going to have a discussion here on the sideline. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Pass to Ayton. And stolen by Booker. Going inside. Up and in. Off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field.
Boy, you love what this guy is doing right now. He's taking smart shots, shooting a high percentage, starting to cook.
Now, here's Ball. Sharp on the wing. Clock at 6. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. It's stolen by Edwards. It's Edwards on the wing. And the call will be against Lonzo Ball. That's his first foul.
Personal foul. Second team foul.
So it's the Timberwolves now. Outside, Simmons. And the call will be against Lonzo Ball. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Well, a bit reckless right there. That's his second foul, and he can't afford to pick up a third.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Reed misses.
Boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going in. I'm sure he surprised himself with the miss.
Pass to Marshall. Shoots over Reed. Marshall can't hit.
Well, he's a quality mid-range shooter, but he can't get that one to go.
No one near Edwards as he lets it fly.
Anthony Edwards.
Traps in the tray.
3.
Edwards got 5 now.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
It's stolen by Gobert. For 3, Booker. Kept alive, Minnesota. Bucket number 3. He's a perfect 3 for 3 to start. In a moment here, take a look at some hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
I mean, they've come out aggressive defensively, getting into them and coming up with some cookies along the way.
You know, also, they've been incredible on the fast break, taking those chances, playing with great pace.
Welcome to the floor, your Trailblazers stats team.
Trailblazers trailed by 9. Henderson outside. To the right side. Outside Howard. Reed with the rebound.
Definitely a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look.
Portland moving the ball around. Sharp with it. Picked up by Edwards. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
And how about that move by Sharp against the defense, getting them to put contact on him so he can draw the foul.
He hits both from the stripe. Minnesota leading by 7. Edwards looking it over. Outside, Simmons. Pass to Booker. 14 feet away. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. Here's Howard. Minnesota with the rebound. Booker outside. To the inside. Here's Reed. Good. A nice assist from Booker.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And Doris, one guy who rarely has an off night, Devin Booker.
He has been the model of consistent excellence, Kevin. This guy's so efficient, so productive, all about winning. I am not sure Devin Booker gets the credit he deserves for the level he's at every night.
Personal foul.
You know, Doris, I'm not sure many people take into account what a grind the NBA season is.
I couldn't agree more, Kevin. And listen, these guys have the best of what's available. They stay at top quality hotels. They have incredible professionals that take care of them. But there is no making up for a lack of sleep when you've played a game at 8 o'clock at night, you leave the arena at 1, and arrive in your next city at 4 or 5 a.m. and tip off that night at 7. And this goes on week after week. It is not easy.
The first one falls. You hear, Doris, people now calling Anthony Edwards one of the faces of the NBA. And I'm assuming you'd agree.
100% agree, because the skills are extraordinary. The development in his decision-making has gone leaps and bounds from where it was. Beyond that, Kevin, he's a lockdown defender, one of the best competitors, fearless in the big moments, and one of the most charismatic young men in the league today. This guy is spectacular.
Right now, let's send it over to the sidelines and get a report from David Aldridge.
Kevin, thanks. Devin Booker is a 3-level scoring threat. He said, I'm just reading coverages and taking what the defense gives me. That's a mid-range jumper, which analytically people say isn't the highest percentage shot. But for myself, it's a good one. I've shot it pretty much my whole life. Kevin?
And David, doesn't it show? Wow, he's something else. Hey, thank you. And it's the Trailblazers with the ball after the basket by Minnesota. And that one drops for him.
How about the timing? Could be the difference between an assist and a turnover. Nice delivery.
Jackson with it. Left side, Edwards. Pass to Bull. And the dunk by Bull.
They've been excellent so far, coming in with a well-balanced attack.
On the offensive end, it feels like they're getting the shots they want, and defensively, they are connected and on a string.
And already, they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
Pass to Reed. Now, here's Bull. 5 on the clock. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Bulls got 6.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Avdia. Here's Primo. Edwards defending. Out to the right wing. From outside the arc. Primo with the bucket.
And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from 3. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
And so Chris Finch calls for the timeout. He wants to talk to his guys.
Attention Blazers fans, give a big round of applause for your Blazers Breaker Dance team.
So it's Dinwiddie who brings up the ball for the Timberwolves. A 12-point game. Deflects the pass. Out beyond the wing. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits.
And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Kicks it out to Dinwiddie. The 3. Diabate grabs the board. And it's the Trailblazers with the ball. And Bull sends it back. And here we go. The fast break with Dinwiddie. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. Here's Alexander Walker. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dinwiddie.
Yeah, we're seeing some fireworks from them already.
Well, what I love is the game plan has been solid from the opening tip, and guys are making their shots. That's critical.
Timberwolves leading by 12. Here's Bull. And the dunk by Bull.
Assist goes to.
And they have owned the paint so far, and the score reflects it.
I know it's early, but you have got to like the dominance down low. Right now, they are playing bully basketball.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. Timberwolves lead by 14. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with
28.
And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And a comfortable margin for the Timberwolves here, guys.
Playing inside out in that first quarter led to some high percentage shots in the paint.
It is great when you can get that established early, because to me it opens up every other aspect of your game.
There's the three. Second shot opportunity. Ayton got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish. Oubre outside. Puts up a deep three. Buries the long-range jumper. Oubre's got the opening basket here in the second quarter for the Timberwolves. There's Ball with the three. Again, the miss by the Trailblazers.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Boy, now you have to think about pulling him. 3 fouls already in this half. A fourth would be inexcusable.
Alexander Walker on the wing. No good with the triple. Trailblazers trailed by 17. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Just over 1 minute has passed here in the second quarter. Timberwolves passing it around. They get it back. Oubre outside. Dinwiddie with it. Now guarded by Ball. 5 to shoot. And the dunk by Ball.
And really just unselfish basketball on the interior. That's the kind of pass a coach loves to see.
Here's Ayton. Nails the baby hook.
This guy has got a dominant physical frame, incredible athleticism. Nice job by DeAndre Ayton inside.
And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Inside. And the dunk by Ball.
Sometimes a player is born with a passer's mindset. He deals it with conviction.
Pass to Henderson. And he drives in. Can't get the reverse flush. Timberwolves leading by 19 points. Kicks it out to Dinwiddie. Back to Alexander Walker. Henderson with it. Gannett picks him up. And then Sharp with the dunk.
Just an excellent feel for the game. Scoot Henderson understands how offense is played.
And when you look at Alexander Walker, Doris, so consistent from year to year.
This is a young man who knows his role, finds ways to help the team within the context of what the Stars are doing. And those are exactly the kind of role players you need in order to have a quality basketball team.
A little like Donovan Mitchell there. Henderson makes some really tough shots in traffic.
Dinwiddie with the bucket.
Well, coaches might discourage that kind of look, but he'll take it anyway.
Ball with a wide open look. No good off the front iron. And it's Dinwiddie with the ball. Bringing it up now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 19-point lead, which is the largest margin in the game. The shot's good from Alexander Walker.
Bringing that three-point percentage up quite a bit this quarter. Shooting it well. The lead's going to get a little bit bigger if they can keep this up.
And Henderson doesn't need any extra motivation to head straight for the rim.
Pass to connect. Oubre outside. Marshall with the steal. And it's the Trailblazers on the break. And here is Ayton. Oh, and the jam by Ayton.
Well, incredible finesse. DeAndre Ayton gets loose and does some work.
The Trailblazers shooting their 5th free throw of the game here. When a team, Doris, is on a losing streak, what lessons can be learned from that?
Now, Kevin, you know this. Losing streaks seem to be inevitable in the NBA. The season is too long to go through without some adversity. What I think you learn is grit and how to keep fighting even when you don't have your best game available.
throws it down.
Well, Mr. Ayton decides, why just lay it up when you can finish with authority?
Booker, right side. And the dunk by Booker.
A little artistry in the painted area, converting against the size.
Some guys just relish the challenge. Find a way, and he does.
And so Chauncey Billups calls for the timeout. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team.
It's a tornado of teachers. Who's looking for some new swag? For your Blazer Dancers.
Trailblazers trail by 17. Latrey drills it from outside. Avdia's got 7 points.
A tough start scoring the basketball, but they're starting to turn it around now.
Pass to Booker. A 3-ball. Ball with the rebound.
I'll tell you, it has not been this guy's best night, but the teammates have been there to pick up the slack. Love it.
Here's Marshall. The layup off target. And there's the call on Rudy Gobert. That's his first foul.
Personal foul.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Blazers on offense. They've gone on a 10-2 run, not allowing much. Pass to Avdia. No good on the triple.
Well defended that time. He's a shooter that the D has to close down on quickly when he's ready to pull the trigger.
What a good pass. I mean, Booker's so unselfish, showing he's not just a finisher.
Here's Sharp. Minnesota with the rebound. 22 is their biggest lead. Booker with it. Now Avdia defending. No good from Booker.
I don't know if he's trying to show off for the crowd or what, but there's no reason for that kind of shot.
And now the latest from our reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, thanks. A move that likely helped the league's parity has been shortening max contract lengths. Commissioner Silver says, we used to refer to it as dead money. A star player toward those end years sitting on the bench. We've reduced max contracts to 5 years, and in some cases 6. This way, it moves to more pay for performance. Kevin?
I think, D.A., that's a pretty good business decision. It's going to have nice ramifications. Pass to Marshall. There's the triple. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Minnesota ball.
Timberwolves leading by 19. Simmons feeling it out a bit. Now here's Booker. 9 points in the game so far. The rebound by Sharp.
Let's give some credit to the defense for how they're guarding this guy right now, because they're refusing to let him get comfortable.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Here's Booker, averaging around 27.5 points a game, one of the best in the league. This one for 3, and it's good, assisting on the play with Simmons. Booker's got 12 in the game.
Putting up points is what Devin Booker does best, and right now he is showing out.
Pass to Sharp. In the hoop for his third make from the field. He's 3 for 4 thus far in the contest.
Yeah, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. He's made the decision. He wants to huddle up with this guy.
You know what to do.
1:36 left in the first half of basketball.
Substitution.
Here's Edwards. It's blocked. And here is Howard. He has yet to score. Avdia near the three-point line. It's Love. And he hits the jump shot.
Well, you know Kevin Love is ready in catch-and-shoot situations. Beautifully done.
Pass to Reed. Now Edwards. Here's the three. Diabate grabs the board.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
From deep three-point land. And it's Love missing. And it's Jackson with the ball, bringing it up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 16-point lead.
Oh, nice finish from Naz Reid. That's the kind of play that can give your team a spark.
Off target with his three.
No idea why he's attempting so many outside shots. It's not his day, and he needs to either look to drive or get it to an open teammate.
Here's Simmons. Comes out of the gate empty. He's 0 for 1. Here's the Trailblazers with the ball. Over in the corner, Avdia. Tipped away. And now the fast break. Edwards with the ball. And finished off by Edwards.
That is not possible. What we just... is that possible?
I think it is, Greg. Not probable, but like possible, like you said. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves controlling the game and finishing the quarter with a 20-point lead. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. And we'll be back with you shortly. And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next two quarters are any different from the first two. So far, it has been a runaway. Trailblazers trailed by 20. Henderson outside. Now Sharp. Ayton. Gobert with the defensive effort.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
And those advanced numbers, Doris, they show Rudy Gobert is historically great.
Kevin, I love that you are an analytics lover, but for me, it's about the eye test. Rudy Gobert has won the Defensive Player of the Year on more than one occasion. He's played on winning teams, and he's been an integral part of their success. He is one of the all-time great defenders we've seen.
Timberwolves leading by 23. Pass to Reed. And the call will be against Najee Marshall. That is his first foul of the game.
Personal foul. First team foul.
And a minute played as the second half gets going. Here's Simmons.
Love the fact that Ball can use his length to annoy shooters. Make sure whoever he's on doesn't get off a clean shot.
Ayton up top. 9 points in the game so far. Henderson, no one around him. Again, the miss by the Trailblazers.
Well, I guarantee you this is not what they talked about in the locker room. 0 for 3 and looking lost.
It's good.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Ball no good.
I'll tell you, it feels all night like this guy's been forcing shots, rushing shots. He's really struggling on the offensive end.
Offensive rebound. Out to Edwards. Here's Reed. Banked in off the glass. Reed got 6.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Now a timeout called by Portland.
For your Blazers answer.
And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. The Blazers on offense. They're scoreless since the first half. Atlanta will be traveling to face them after this game. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. Here's Ball. And that time, also a missed shot.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Booker outside. It's good from long range. 18 points for him.
Well, we've come to expect this from Devin Booker. This guy is a relentless force on the offensive end.
And here comes the break. And stolen by Ayton. Here's Henderson. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. It goes on Devin Booker. Portland may have made 3 of 5 free throw attempts.
And 74% has been the mark for them on the season thus far.
Both free throws good from Henderson. So it's the Timberwolves now. They've only allowed 2 points so far here in the second half. Outside Edwards. Puts up a deep 3. And Dawkins pulls it down. Outside Ball. Wide open look. And he sinks that one at the back of the rim on the way in. Ball's got his second basket of the game. Here's Simmons. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Boy, when Simmons looks to score, it just balances that ability to pass the basketball. Love when he's aggressive.
And he's good on the second. The Blazers on offense. Ball feeling it out a bit. Here he goes. And Ball slams it in.
And I just love the aggressiveness from Ball. When he's driving to the hoop, he's ready to attack the rim at will.
Pass to Edwards. 3-pointer. Rebound by the Trailblazers. The shot by Sharp. Nobody around. Off target from outside.
You can't miss those, but even...
Oh, that was something else.
Have mercy.
Oh, Anthony Edwards thinks this game is a dunk contest. Go ahead, young sir. What a finish.
And they pick up 2. Ball's got 6 in the quarter.
Well, what a terrific possession. Attack in the painted area.
Here's Simmons. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. Lonzo Ball picks one up.
You love when Simmons plays with aggression inside because it really forces the D to adjust.
And Simmons drops them both. Here's Primo. Currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Pass to Dawkins. Here's Primo. Now here's Henderson. Guarded by Simmons. And Ball sends it back. 4 on the clock. Outside Howard. The shot, no good.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
The Timberwolves again can't hit.
Listen, that's a shot he can make, but obviously the defense okay letting him shoot it.
Back to Henderson. And Ball sends it back. And they're on the break. Here's Reed. And Reed throws it down.
Yeah, now's Reed's ability to run the floor, get out in transition.
Henderson. It's hauled in by Edwards.
If you try something like that, you better be sure to complete it.
Gets the 3-pointer to fall.
3 points.
And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Great job by this team closing out, blocking a bunch of shots, and just a tremendous effort defensively.
And you also have to love the way they've gotten out and run in transition. A ton of good chances tonight simply from being willing to run the floor.
And Greg, it didn't take long for Anthony Edwards to prove himself in the NBA.
There's so much to like about his game. As outstanding as his offense is, his defense cannot be overlooked. He is a lockdown presence when he needs to be.
Outside Howard. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession of the ball.
Substitution on the court.
So it's the Timberwolves now. Outside Edwards. Pass to Bull. Tries the spin move. Portland grabs the miss. Here's Primo. To end the drought. Sinks the triple. Primo's got 6.
You simply must play better defense than that. This guy is too good from distance.
And what you love about Edwards is how intense he is. Guy plays hard every minute he's on the floor.
And this is his second trip to the line in the game.
And he's at nearly 90% from the free throw line this season, so having a terrific year.
And Edwards drops them both.
There is so much to love about Anthony Edwards. He is one of the most skilled young basketball players in the league, but he also happens to be quite charismatic.
Avdia can't hit. Bull with it. 12 points for him. Outside Edwards. Bangs home the trifecta. Edwards got 12 points here in the second half.
What an aggressive mindset in this period. He's starting to take over.
Offensive rebound. That shot misses. Rob. Pass to Howard. And some nice ball movement here by the Trailblazers. Hits it from three-point range.
Well, there's an unpredictability to his offensive game. He is always keeping the defense off balance.
And the Timberwolves call time here. And it's Dinwiddie with the ball, bringing it up now for the Timberwolves. Here's Alexander Walker. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
First personal foul.
Yeah, easy call.
This is his first free throw of the game. The free throw drops for Alexander Walker.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Avdia, 7 points in the game. Pass to Primo. And Bull pulls it down.
I know he's got to be frustrated right now, but the team is fighting from behind. He's got to stay with it.
And stolen by Love. They get a hand on it. And they recover it. Goes back up. Minnesota with the rebound.
Listen, if you're that wide open, you have to take the shot, even if it's not your favorite.
Steps back. And he slams it one-handed.
Boy, outstanding decision-making by Dinwiddie. We associate him as a scorer, but what a pretty look.
Here's Avdia. And the shot is good. Avdia's got 9.
Well, that's a nice play. You've got to read the situation and go to your floater game when necessary.
Oubre on the wing. Here's Bull. And the dunk by Bull.
Well, overall, they're the team getting the better looks here in this second half.
And I think what's happening is they're getting their shots within the flow of their offense, and you can clearly see the difference.
Anthony Edwards.
The Timberwolves, 89.
And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. Now, here's Dinwiddie. Pass to Oubre. The NBA has always been a star-driven league, Greg, and That's reflected in team strategies now more than ever before.
It is. All over the league, teams now building their systems around their stars, surrounding them with complementary players and running the offense through them as much as possible.
He took what the defense was giving him that time. There was nobody on him on the three-point shot. Boy, don't give him the lights out.
Dinwiddie with the bucket.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
From downtown, he can't get it to go.
I'll tell you, this has not been his game, and he's making it worse with shot selection like that.
And the dunk by Bull.
Outstanding entry pass there. He knew exactly where to go with the ball.
Here's Primo. Pass to Giles. And Bull sends it back. Oh, and here we go. Jackson, nobody back.
You gotta love his hustle, leaving the defense no time to react.
The finish and transition, nice and easy.
Here's Giles. Robinson with it. Back to Giles. And the layup's good off the glass. Giles has got his first bucket of the night.
Really, really good at recognizing the gaps and getting the ball to the rim.
On its way from Dinwiddie for two. Misses the jumper. Here's Primo. Pass to Giles. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. You know, Doris, we know how physical the NBA is, but can you talk to the importance of mental toughness as well, and what it means for a player?
Kevin, I don't think a player can be successful in the NBA, and certainly a team cannot, without some level of grit and mental toughness. And what does that mean? How does that manifest itself? It means handling adversity. It means overcoming a key injury. There's a toughness required to be amongst the smartest, most resilient players or teams in the NBA.
Clock is at 3. Here's Alexander Walker. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Here's Henderson.
Even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Personal foul.
And he can't get the first one.
At the line for your Trailblazers.
And the second free throw, good.
And one of the problems in the first half, that shoddy work at the free throw line. They needed to fix that, and they've been much improved since the break.
For 3, Booker. Robinson pulls it in.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can count on him to continue missing.
Lets it go from deep. The offensive rebound. Three-pointer. Drills the three-pointer. Robinson's got 6 here in this quarter. A look at the clock. A little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Now, Alexander Walker. For 3, Booker sinks the three-pointer. Booker's got 9 points here in the second half.
He's starting to get it going. 4 3-pointers in the game for him, and 3 have come in this half.
Well, he's such a good athlete for a center. It's how he's able to succeed despite being one of the smallest 5s in the NBA.
No good from Booker.
He couldn't believe how open he was. He just couldn't convert it.
They get the rebound. Outside Robinson. And here's Henderson. The second chance effort. Again, the Trailblazers score.
Man, he's having quite the quarter, converting at a really high percentage.
Dinwiddie with it. Every year, Doris, the NBA has a few points of emphasis they want to make. Anything you'd like to see emphasized?
Yeah, I think, Kevin, one thing that has to happen is we have got to give the defense a greater chance to succeed. We've tilted the game too heavily in the offense's favor, meaning too often at the rim, there's foul shots given for marginal contact. I think the defense has got to become more involved in the outcome of games.
And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
That's just tremendous concentration by Devin Booker. He takes the contact, doesn't let it bother him. Now he'll get an N1 opportunity.
Now here's Henderson. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg, I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
Sharp. And he makes good on the layup. And 11 points for Shaedon Sharpe.
Oh, nice job executing inside. Sharpe's confidence is what makes him such a dangerous player.
Wallace with it, and it's Horford picking him up to the middle. A shot by Diabate, no good. And the Timberwolves with possession here. And it's Kevin Love with the foul. And that'll be his third foul so far.
Fouling like that isn't how you get back in the game.
Here's Connect from past the arc. Dinwiddie's shot is off. Here's Henderson driving in.
Explosive in every way. The quick first step, and then you see the hops.
Pass to Horford. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. That one on Love. You know, DB, I imagine any lineup could benefit from a veteran guy like Al Horford.
Boy, you just look at how younger guys on the team lean on Al. He guides them through any number of experiences. He's been a pro's pro from the moment he entered the league, and he's still having an impact with his defensive ability and range shooting. Well, Al Horford, one of the most respected veterans in this league. Why? Well, he's unselfish, and it's always about team first. This is as pure a shooter as there is. You've got to stay connected, or it's a problem.
Now Burks. Horford no luck. The Trailblazers on offense. Here's Henderson. And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up.
And not a single free throw attempt in that first half, but he has been far more active since the break and drawn some fouls.
Both free throws good from Henderson. And Greg, everyone loves talking trades. Future first-round picks have been moved quite a bit of late, and that's been kind of interesting.
And, Kevin, a lot of teams that don't control any of their future first-round picks. With so much pressure to win now, GMs are willing to use draft assets.
And it's good for 2.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
One thing I enjoy is watching players who don't pay attention to the score. You lock in on the moment and play the right way.
Alexander Walker.
Alexander Walker.
Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
The man has no heart, and that's poor defense for a team that has a long way to catch up.
Well, credit the offense, though. If you're going to come with casual defensive effort, this team's responsibility is to take advantage, and they do.
And all you got to do is look at the rebounding margin as to why they hold the lead.
Well, they've absolutely dominated that category in this one, and it's reflected in the score.
Lots of room. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Alexander Walker's got 11 in the second half.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Timberwolves.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, There were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And a milestone win for the season. This will push their victory total to 20 wins even.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Bol.
Boy, this guy played with some swagger and intensity on the boards tonight, dominating the physical aspect of the game.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Henderson for three, and Love with his second chance points.
Elite rebounder has always been a descriptor of Kevin Love's game. This guy takes tremendous pride in that aspect.
Alexander Walker with the ball. Shot clock at 6. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
Now on the floor for your Trailblazers, number 12, Josh Primo.
So it's Minnesota winning this one easy to come into an opponent's building